Hello, school counselors and school counselors to be. Thank you guys for coming to my channel, The Inspiring School Counselor. And as you guys can already tell from the title down below, we are going to be getting into this Praxis examination for professional school counselors. In order for you to be operating as a professional school counselor, you have to be licensed. So this Praxis test that you're going to have to take right before you graduate is going to help you get the licensure that you need in order to operate as a professional school counselor in an elementary, middle school, or high school setting. So if you are interested, you're going to want to keep watching, okay, y'all, because I want to give you guys a really good summary of what to expect when you guys take a test, as well as I'm going to be sharing with you guys my own personal experience in taking the test. So you don't want to miss this video. So you might as well keep watching because you watched it thus far, right? So if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a video. All right, y'all, let's get into it. You can find this right on the ets.org website, but if y'all are anything like me, I'd rather watch a video and let somebody explain it to me than me going and reading it myself. So let's just get into some test details. So when you go to the ets.org website and you are getting ready to apply for this examination, first you need to know that you are going to be searching for the Praxis, and the code is 5421, and that is for professional school counseling. Also, the price of that test is going to be $121. So let me tell you guys, $121, at least to me, is a lot of money. You really want to make sure that you study good for this test. The time of this test is going to be about 2 hours long, and the format of this test is a selected response. You also will have about 120 questions, okay? And so when you are approaching this test, obviously there's a lot of information that you're going to have to take in, so you want to study as early as you can. Now, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. I'm going to be very transparent with y'all. I only studied for probably about a month or so, maybe, give or take, and so I do not encourage you guys to do that. Please do it, give yourself enough time. But I ended up only studying for about a month, and I'm just glad the good Lord allowed me to pass it. So that's what I'm happy about. So it is 120 questions, and it is a computer delivered test. So you will be taking this test at a testing center, whatever, is close to you. So just be aware of that. So let's get into some content categories. So you're going to be tested over foundations, delivery of services, accountability, and management. And so these are going to be broken up. So foundations is going to have about 22 questions, and it's going to make up about 18% of your test. Delivery of services is going to be 54 questions, and that is going to be about 45% of your test. Then you have management, which is going to be about 18 questions, and it's going to be 15% of your test. And accountability is going to be 26 questions, and it's going to make up 22% of your test. Now, I don't know if y'all are good at math, but I don't think you have to be good at math to understand that majority of this test is going to be over that delivery of services. So you want to make sure that you brush up really well on that part of the test, okay? Now, of course, you want to study all of it, but really just, make sure you understand that delivery of services. So now the passing of scores is going to depend on your university. Just make sure you know what the score is so that you can pass it, okay? So you want to make sure that you talk to your professor concerning that, or the director or whoever. So now let's really get into the ins and outs of each category that you're going to be tested on. So we're going to start with foundations. So when you are looking at foundations, you're going to be looking at, making sure you know the history and role of the school counselor. You also are going to want to make sure that you brush up on ethics, brush up on legal issues, as well as human development and growth. So you want to, get into that, make sure you study that, really well. And like I said, there's a lot of information and it is going to seem overwhelming, but as long as you start early, you are going to be able to do it. The next is delivery of services, and that is going to focus on guidance and counseling. And what I mean by guidance is like, I guess it's like kind of like guidance curriculum, those type of things, and consultation and collaboration. Now let's look at management. Management is going to be, how do you use technology to evaluate your counseling program? So that's going to be focusing on the delivery of it, the development, and how you are implementing your comprehensive school counseling program. And then we have accountability, which now that is going to be going into just knows the goals and the methods of the evaluation, achievement, program effectiveness, and student outcomes, and how to apply that data analysis, and how you apply it is like doing these assessments, program evaluation, and all those different type of things. Now, when you guys go to the ets.org website, it's going to give you even more information. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys that later on in the video. But those are pretty much the gist. There is a little bit more information in management and accountability, and even foundations and delivery. But once you go to the ets.org website, it is going to then break it down like it needs to be broken down. Okay, so let's get into, those are pretty much the test details. Now, I want to talk to you guys about preparation, okay, how to prepare for the test. Now, I will say this, on ets.org, you will have an opportunity to buy a practice test, and it is $20. And I actually spent $20 for that practice test, and it's a 90-day subscription. And it's 120 questions that they give you, just like the test. So you can actually go on there and act like it's like the real deal. You have 2 hours to take it, and it's basically going to, you're going to be able to figure out whether you are prepared for the test or whether you're not. One thing I must say though, in taking that test, like each time that you take it, it's going to give you the same exact questions. So they're not, just because you take it one time and you got your score, if you go back in and you try to take it again, it's not going to give you any different questions. You're going to get the same exact questions. And that's what I noticed when I went in to take it. And so that's when I looked to other things to help me, to prepare me for this particular test. I will say, once you take the test and you get like the answers, I would really encourage you guys either to write those answers down along with their questions, or else you're just going to continue to have to go through it, over and over and over again. So please, it's probably best if you just write those questions down. If you can print them, whatever you have to do, because just going through that whole process, that 2-hour thing, and just doing all that craziness, is just a whole lot of work. Also on the website, you will find a study companion. I printed that off. And you'll also find a professional school counselor study plan. And that is going to break it down for you. And I'm going to show you guys once again what that's going to look like at the end of the video. So those are things that ets.org provides for you. And by all means, go and do it. Try to figure all that stuff out, see if that's the best way for you. But I'm going to tell you guys this now. My method that I use, that I absolutely fell in love with, I've had people that I know school counselors that bought books off of like Amazon, or not Amazon, but they brought books from somewhere else that was a study guide for them. But y'all, all I used was Quizlet. That was something that I used, and I found it so beneficial. And I actually told some other students that was in my class about it. Some of them didn't like it. They were just like, I didn't really find that helpful, which I don't understand why or how they didn't find that helpful. But that's them. Everybody has their own way of how they study. But let me tell you guys, I love Quizlet, and I will also show you guys what that looks like as well at the end of the video. But Quizlet was a big help to me. But Quizlet, they break it down, foundations, just very good. I'm going to show you guys that at the end of the video. Another thing that I used to study for the test is the materials that I just gathered, accumulated through being in the graduate studies program. So there were a lot of things that I kept. And guys, please, I hope you guys are keeping a lot of your stuff and not just throwing it out. Because those are going to be beneficial things that you can use, whether you can apply it to when you are actually operating as a school counselor on your students, or just for yourself to just jog your memory on certain things. But that's what I did. I used the material that I gathered through, throughout my journey in being in graduate school. So once again, just to reiterate, the main thing that I used to study for this test was Quizlet. It was my best friend. It was just a blessing to me. And so by all means, if you guys have Quizlet, it's free, y'all. Go and download it to your phone and you can have it on the go. Because that's what I found, like even with taking that, buying the $20 one on ets.org, I couldn't really take that thing everywhere. Like I'm not going to be dragging my computer everywhere, neither papers that I printed off with me. But I love that I can easily have access to my study materials right on my phone through Quizlet. On Quizlet, they have different ways that you can study. So you're going to be able to play like little games that's put together so that you guys can, study that way. There's also a matching on there. Y'all, it is the best tool as I found for myself. And y'all, I passed the school counselor exam. Obviously, I'm a active school counselor, okay? So I passed it. That's what I used, and it was the best decision of my life when I used Quizlet. So guys, find what is best for you. Maybe Quizlet is not going to be a good study tool for you. Maybe it is that you need to go by the ets.org and download all that stuff and buy that study material and preparation test that they provide you guys. Maybe that's what you have to do. Or maybe you have to go to a third party. Maybe you have to go to Amazon and buy a book there, that is going to prepare you for it. Whatever you guys have to do, do it. I just say make sure you give yourself enough time to study for that test. So now I'm going to show you guys where to go on the ets.org website in order to find all this information that I was able to gather for you guys today, and just where to go to get the study materials as well. And I'm going to show you guys Quizlet.